From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Friday, February the 16th, 2024. 2 Israelis were killed in a terror attack today in southern Israel. The incident took place at the busy Masmia Re'em junction between Gedera and Kiryat Malachi, where a Palestinian terrorist opened fire at people standing at a bus stop. In addition to the 2 who were killed, 4 others were injured. An armed civilian at the scene neutralized the terrorist. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu sent his condolences to the families and vowed we will continue to fight until total victory with all our might on every front, everywhere, until we restore the security and quiet for all citizens of Israel. Fierce battles between Israeli troops and Hamas terrorists continue in Gaza, and the IDF announced a casualty today. He is 20-year-old Staff Sergeant Noam Haba, killed in battle yesterday. The IDF said today its troops continued to operate against Hamas in the Nasser Hospital in southern Gaza, where, as we reported to you, the IDF entered yesterday based on intel that remains of hostages may be inside the facility. The IDF said during the operation, our troops apprehended over 20 terrorists who participated in the October 7th massacre and located mortar shells, grenades, and additional weapons, vowing the IDF will continue to uphold international law while targeting Hamas, known for using hospitals and civilian infrastructure for their operations. A man thought to have been abducted alive during the October 7th massacre and held hostage by Hamas in Gaza is said to be dead. Kibbutz Nir Oz announced the death of 59-year-old Yair Yaakov, who is now said to have been murdered on October the 7th, his remains being held by Hamas in Gaza. His partner Meirav Tal and his 2 sons, 16-year-old Or and 12-year-old Yagil, were kidnapped that day and released from captivity as part of a truce deal at the end of November. Prime Minister Netanyahu held a phone call last night with U.S. President Joe Biden, the White House saying in the call, the president reaffirmed his commitment to working tirelessly to support the release of all hostages as soon as possible, recognizing their appalling situation after 132 days in Hamas captivity. Also stressing the urgency of ensuring that humanitarian assistance is able to get to Palestinian civilians in desperate need. And regarding Rafah, which is in southern Gaza, Biden reiterated his view that a military operation should not proceed without a credible and executable plan for ensuring the safety of and support for the civilians in Rafah. Rafah, by the way, is the city where 2 Israeli hostages were rescued from earlier this week in a daring IDF mission. Israel's President Isaac Herzog is in Germany today, taking part in the 60th Munich Security Conference. Accompanying Herzog are family members of hostages as well as former hostages. Meeting today with President of Germany, Frank-Walter Steinmeier, Herzog said he was there especially to discuss the moral imperative of bringing the hostages home and the need to complete the mission of eradicating Hamas. Earlier this week, the president announced that his office was accepting nominations for a first-of-its-kind President's Medal for Civilian Heroism, saying the brutal terrorist attack that occurred on October the 7th was one of the most dramatic and shocking events in the history of the State of Israel, along with the unbearably heavy price that the attack extracted from the very first moments. Unimaginable and extraordinary acts of heroism were discovered, including those of ordinary citizens who acted in real time while actually risking their lives out of a sense of unity with the aim of saving human lives. Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Friday, February the 16th. Live Shabbat services are coming up at 6 o'clock from New York City's Central Synagogue, followed by Shabbat services from the Hampton Synagogue. At 8:30, a college a cappella competition. And then it's David Harris on Defending Israel, followed by a replay from the Hampton Synagogue and a replay from Central. And coming up next, a look at this week's Torah Portion. And that's the JBS News Update for Friday, February the 16th, 2024. I'm Teisha Bader. Shabbat Shalom. Am Yisrael Chai.